Thank you. Well, thank you for it. Well, it's a pleasure for us to be here one more time. We are fans of this conference, this event, and we are three authors, three professors at UNED. This is the Spanish Distance Education University. I don't know if you are familiar with it, but it's the largest university in Spain, and we deliver our courses in distance mode. And from the three of us, we are here today, Aitor Lopez and myself, Inés Gil-Jaurena, and we want to share our experience we are doing this year with renewable assignments. And this is the outline of our presentation. And first, we will briefly share some conceptual background about what these renewable assignments are, in case you are not familiar with this term. And then we will focus on the teaching innovation project funded by by our university, where we have been doing this innovative experience. And we will share some findings with you. The project is still in progress, so we don't have many findings, but we will advance some aspects we have found out. So first, we wanted to frame this innovative practice within the open education movement. And specifically, we have considered these open educational practices from a constructive alignment approach that is quite widely used in distance education and open education. And we have focused in this project in the aspects highlighted in bold letters, and especially in trying to design more engaging teaching and learning activities for our students, and doing some improvements or changes in our assessment and evaluation methods. So this is something related to the previous presentation. So making students more active participants in the learning process and in the courses, and also valuing students' production of knowledge. And specifically, renewable assignments is a coined term by David Wiley, who is a very well-known author in open education, almost a bit more of 10 years ago. And he coined this term as opposed to what he called disposable assignments. And disposable assignments are the most common ones, and are those traditional assignments that only the teacher reads. So a traditional assignment, it could be an exam, it could be an essay, it could be a project, or whatever student's production that the teacher reads and marks. And on the other hand, renewable assignments are assignments that keep that sense of being a product to check the students' learning, but also have value beyond that interaction between teacher and student. And with another author in open education, they proposed this classification of types of assignments, and it's a continuum from disposable assignments to assignments that have value beyond supporting the individual learning, and going to public and openly licensed resources or students' productions or artifacts. And another author also working in this topic, Amanda Gray, she also characterized the differences between disposable and renewable assignments. In fact, in Spanish, we have translated, we are not using the translation of renewable, but reusable, because we haven't gone so far as producing publicly available resources, but our interest was in having students working in some collaborative assignments that so their production could have a use for all the other students. So we have kept our assignments within the courses, or at most between different courses, but not in the public domain. So strictly our experiences, you will see how two specific experiences with this type of assignments. We are working with them now, but they could not be labeled as renewable assignments as such, but some steps beyond traditional or disposable assignments. And so this is the innovation project we are working in this year. And our purpose was to redesign our traditional assignments or create new ones, converting them into renewable or reusable assignments, and also to implement and evaluate the impact of this. And below you can see that it's a way of representing that we design the assignments and we expect the students to develop or to submit a product. But for us, the value is in the student's process itself. And the student's process implies in this case, in these two assignments you will see now, that the students have to make some elections or choices. So the work they do is different one from the other. It's in this sense, the assignments have some flexibility, and the students have to collect information, have to summarize, and have to share. And this aspect is especially interesting for us because the students' production is made public in the course. And for us, this have some connotations and some added value that we are exploring. And for the redesign of the assignments and converting them from traditional to renewable assignments, we have considered a framework that Stacy Katz and Jennifer Van Allen published in 2020. And there are different steps about how to convert traditional into renewable assignments. So we have tried to follow these steps and be quite systematic and consistent in the process of doing this work. And now Aitor will explain the characteristics of the specific assignments we have been working with.
Okay, thank you, Ines. Good afternoon, everyone. I would like to share our experience of implementing renewable assessments in the postgrad teacher training program that we teach virtually at the UNED under the title Socio-Community Integration, Foundation and Context. And we take place between October and February with the participation of 45 students. To innovate in the evaluation, we choose to transform traditional or disposable task into a renewable task. In this way, two main activities have been proposed. The creation of the collaborative glossary using the glossary tool of the Moodle platform and the elaboration of collaborative map on community development projects using Google Maps. Both activities are public available within the course and represent a small percentage of the final grade, 10 and 5%. These renewable assessments encourage the collective construction of knowledge and can be used by the future students. Okay, first we present the collaborative glossary where each student selects, defines, and analyzes two concepts and comments on the concepts of other classmates. The result is a collectively construct a knowledge repository that can be reused and enriched with the participation of future students, thus promoting continuous and dynamic learning. And secondly, we present the collaborative map where each student describes up to 4 community development projects in their city and locate them on a shared map. These results can be used in other courses with the student's permission to delve deeper into the characteristics, impact, and other aspects of each project. And here is a concrete example of the collaborative map. In it, each student has located and described one or more community development projects in their area and providing relevant information that allows us to understand their characteristics, objectives, and scopes. Okay.
Okay,
Well,
then
Ines, okay. And these slides present the result of the questionnaire given to the students, and we rated the collaborative glossary and the collaborative map on a scale of 1, strongly disagree, to 5, strongly agree. Okay, and firstly, we focus on the collaborative glossary, concentrating on 3 aspects. Useful for learning, 85% market between 4 and 5. Consider it is useful for their process. Enriching, approximately 78% choose 4 and 5, highlighting its educational value. Engagement with the activity, again, has high score of 85% with 4 and 5, indicating high degree of involvement in the task, for example. Okay. And so with the result of the evaluation of the collaborative map, following the same dimensions, we obtained that they consider it useful for their process with high educational value and high degree of involvement in the task, 10% between 4 and 5. Okay, and in this section, cover the students' perceptions of the impact of the renewable assessment in the 4 case aspect: academic performance, agency and autonomous learning, and collaborative learning and motivation. All of them reflect a positive assessment of these activities and their potential to enrich the online learning experience, especially motivation and academic performance with 10%, 100% of students scoring between 4 and 5. And we also compare renewable tasks with traditional ones, focusing on aspects such as student preference, the learning they generate, and their usefulness beyond the course. In general terms, the participants expressed a positive inclination towards the renewable task, highlighting that they not only preferred them to the traditional ones, but also considered them more effective for learning, and with greater projecting once the course was over. As can be seen, there is an assessment that shows the satisfaction with the contribution of these activities to the final grade. Okay, we also obtain opinions that reflect, in the first place, that renewable activities such as the collaborative map are significant and coherent with the objectives of the course, saying the facility the connection of learning and encourage collaboration. In addition, the opportunity to investigate real projects in the communities is valued and make the experience more stimulating. On the other hand, the usefulness of comparing the contribution of classmates to guide themselves and to know if they are moving on the right direction is highlighted. Finally, the students emphasize the innovative nature of the proposal and appreciate the effort of the teachers to maintain their interest and promote autonomous learning that is not tedious. Okay, Ines, continue.
Okay, so this information that Aitor shared was about students' perceptions about the experience, and also we have analyzed the impact on some academic rates, and comparing to the 2 previous years, where in this same course the students also developed a glossary, but the glossary was only submitted, so the students' contribution to the glossary was only submitted to the teacher and not shared publicly in the online course, and they didn't have the opportunity to comment on other students' contributions. And also they had to collect information about community development projects in their area, but submit that information only to the teacher. So the change this year in 24-25 is that these 2 activities were reusable, collaborative, and public in the online course. That's the difference. And this was the innovative practice we introduced. And so comparing to previous years, the number of students who submitted the activities was similar to 2 years ago and higher than last year. So not much changes. But the number of students who failed, so whose submission or contribution was not enough for passing the course, got reduced. So there was only one student this year who failed, and is more not for the production, but that couldn't complete all the activities. But also the significant aspect is that the average score, so the quality of the contribution and assignments of the students was a bit higher. If you see the average score, it was not low previous years, but it was higher this year. We mark our scores are from 0 to 10, and so 8 is quite good score. So this is in this school. We are also doing this type of conversion from disposable to renewable assignments in other courses, but in this specific course, these were the students' opinion and results. So what have we learned from this experience? Well, as positive aspects, we can highlight that this type of tasks can engage the students more and also enrich the course content. It was really interesting to see the students' contributions to the glossary and also to the map. So we have, as our students are distributed all over Spain, we have a map of community development projects all over the country. And this was really rich and interesting. And also the activities have become more collaborative and public, has increased students' motivation and also agency and ownership, and this was expressed in the service that Aitor presented. Also, they show a preference for renewable assignments instead of the more traditional ones, but also they recognize that it takes more effort, they say. Maybe because this is something we have to deepen more about. I think the fact that going public is more demanding for them. It's not the same just to submit the assignment to the teacher than share it openly with name and surname in the online course, so everybody can know how you work or what is your contribution. And also, technologies have facilitated the development of these assignments. This is, well, by common sense, but it's true that, for instance, Moodle allows us to use the glossary because there is a plugin in Moodle that is for developing collaborative glossaries. And we couldn't do it before in the platform, the LMS we were using some years ago. So for us, this was positive. And on the other side, as negative or more negative aspects of this experience, there are a lot of decisions that we have to make for changing this design. It's very easy to ask the students to write something and send it to the teacher, but to design something more collaborative, open with these new tools, it's quite, it demands more work and reflection from the teacher side, so it increases the workload. Also in the assessment phase, because we have to check in the map and in the glossary each individual contribution, etc. But also about decisions about some technical aspects as well. About, for instance, I remember when we were doing the map, we could ask the students to enter into the map and put their contribution in the map. But instead, we decided to centralize that. So it was us, the teachers, who put the information in the map. They had just to send the information to us. So this was decisions that we had to make in the process. And well, that's all. And also, that's it. We leave it here, but we are open to any question you may have. Thank you.